Let me get in there and.
I know I may, because it's due tomorrow. I just saw it today. I probably won't be able to bid on it, but I wanted to at least, kind of know what to do going forward when looking at something like this.
Sure.
Kind of direction.
Gym conditioning equipment.
Yeah.
Originally posted on the 2nd, updated on the 10th, due by the 11th. That's not normal.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I was like, maybe they haven't gotten anything, so maybe they might postpone it or something.
Usually when they amend something, they extend the due date.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't in this case, which is very, very abnormal. Blah, blah, blah.
Hey, John.
Yes.
You might want to read the amendments since it just came out today. They may have extended it. They just haven't updated the system. I found that to be the case in a lot of amendments that I've read.
Yeah, that's actually what I'm doing right now. I just clicked on it, and I'm reading the new synopsis. Looks like the Fed bid auction will end on 5/11. That's tomorrow. Okay. Well, it's a Fed bid contract, so I mean, all you would have to do is get pricing on all these items.
Yeah, it looks pretty simple. And submit it, and submit the bid. That's all I have to do.
Shannon, can you hear me? What did I do?
I can hear you.
There you are.
I can hear you. Yeah, I don't know what happened, because, well, I don't know what happened. I was saying, yeah, just get the pricing for those and submit it. That's all I would have to do.
Yeah, and you got to make sure, because this is FOB, freight on board, you got to make sure that your supplier is going to cover the freight, or you figure out how much it's going to cost to ship this stuff.
And add it in.
Yep. To Marietta, Georgia.
Do you think that's something that's feasible? I mean, I don't know. Just say if I'm up all night beating the pavement, and something I could probably, I mean, I know it's kind of late in the day, or I could call and see about the due date.
The fact that this is due tomorrow and they're looking for 20 plus items, and they're looking for multiple of each item, and the fact that you got to make sure you charge enough to cover the freight. And I mean, it's so many angles.
Get fans and bucks about it.
Yeah, for something that's due tomorrow,
Yeah.
This is one that, I mean, you have to hustle to get this done.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks, I said 20 plus, it looks closer to 50 items.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot on there.
Yep.
So I don't know. I was just wondering about the date. Maybe I could contact somebody. You think I could contact them about the date?
You can email them. You can go to FedBid and go to that buy number, and there's a help button where you can click it, and you can email them and ask them questions. Or you can just email them client services at FedBid right there,
Okay, that's what I'll do.
Any other questions on this one?
No, I'm good.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I have a question, John, but it's not in regards to this particular solicitation. I'm just fairly new, and basically I was just trying to get information on the program, so I'm not even sure if I even supposed to be on the call in that. I was just trying to find out information on the program. I'm basically a new company and just trying to see how to go about doing contracting as a whole.
Sure. So you're interested in getting information on how to get set up with me and have me train you, stuff like that?
Yes.
Okay. Basically, what I wanted to do is just have you join the training so you can see how I operate and what I do to help my clients.
Okay.
You know, the patients I have and all that blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
And then once we're done, if you want, we can talk today or we can talk tomorrow, and I can show you more about what I do and how we do it. No problem.
Okay. That'll work.
You can have access to me every day from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern time via these GoToMeeting bid trainings. And you can have access to me throughout the day. If you just drop me an email, I can typically reply right away. I'm also starting a new thing where I'm going to be doing trainings on Wednesday at noon and making sure we have, you know, some time for everybody.
Okay. It'll work.
All right, man. Anybody got a bid or solicitation, a proposal to work on, or anybody else have a question?
Hey, John, it's Wendy with Ganera Stream.
Yes.
How are you today?
Excellent.
Hey, I would have emailed you, but I just got a phone call right before the training started.
Okay.
From, I don't know if you can help me with this. It was from Duns and Barn Street.
Yes.
And this nice lady, Stephanie, told me that our Duns is in an incomplete status.
Now we are filing for our veteran, so it very well might be. I don't know how that works.
Nope.
Scam time.
Dun & Bradstreet just wants to get your money.
Okay.
Yep. They just want your money.
That's what I tried to tell her, but I want to make sure. Is there a way we could check it?
You can, yeah, but listen, I'm telling you right now, all they want is your money, man. It's sad. It's a really sad day when it boils down to the things that they do. I mean, their agreement with the government is they'll give you a free DUNS number, and they have the right to sell you their credit monitoring service. But they'll tell you, let me give you an example. I got a client who Dun & Bradstreet told her that she was not compliant and her SAM wasn't compliant and got her all scared. And then told her that she had a slow pay reported with them. She pays her bills a month in advance. She said, when I get my first bill, I pay it, and the next day I pay it again. So I'm always a month in advance with my bills. I'm never behind. I got excellent credit. And she said Dun & Bradstreet had a report on her for a slow pay. And she contacted Dun & Bradstreet, and they said, yeah, we could fix it. It'll be about $3,000, but we can fix it. So she paid them, and come to find out, she didn't have a slow pay at all. Dun & Bradstreet had a typo. It was a mistake they made. And they still kept their money. They're going to call you and tell you that you need to pay them. You do not need to pay them.
Well, yeah, she tried telling me that the file was in an incomplete status and wanted to know what we were doing with the business.
Yep.
And I told her, I said, with Simplified Acquisitions, I said, I did not procure my DUNS number. I said, it's strictly for federal government use.
Yep.
And she's like, well, do you want me to keep it in this status then? And I'm like, well, I'm going to have to reach out to somebody and find out before I do anything.
Yeah. That's a good thing you did, because you would have spent the money for no reason.
Right, right.
And that's why I tell you guys to always check with me first. Right there in highlighted yellow and orange, check with me first. And I'm the only person I know of in existence on this planet right now that has put this in writing with Dun & Bradstreet. Does not cost you money. They will try and sell you credit monitoring services. Tell them you're broke, and they won't bother to try to sell you anything. If they don't think you can afford it, they won't even bother. They'll leave you alone.
Okay.
It's crazy. And like I said, I'm the only person that exists that has this in writing. It's on my videos. It's out there. You know, and Dun & Bradstreet, you can't deny it because it's true.
Well, I
Hey, John?
Thank you.
Yes.
Hey, John, this is Roger. Yeah, if I may, folks, I'll tell you, I've been with U.S. Federal Contractor Registration for a little over a year right now, and I can tell you that John warned me about this right out of the gate, and I probably sent him 30 emails the first 2 months that I had my business stood up. I get emails from Dun & Bradstreet, all these other federal registration companies that claim that they're U.S. Federal Contractor Registration, and they're just wanting to get money out of you. Sometimes I call them because I'm bored. It's rather entertaining to do babble with them, but the bottom line is they're just trying to steal an account away from someone else, or they're trying to make you pay for something that you really don't need. I've gotten great support thus far, and I would just say anything that you get, if it's suspicious to you, just forward it to John and his crew and let them dig into it, and they'll let you know if it's something that you got to pay attention to. But your case manager has got your account, and they're going to take care of you. That's all.
Yeah, and don't believe everything you read either. If someone sends you an email, don't get upset about it. Check with me first, because it might not be legitimate. We're getting a lot of them from, where is that one? One of them came in today.
I've been getting a bunch from a company called FDS, Federal something services.
Something like that, yeah.
They're like a registration company, and they're saying that, you know, this is, my SAM is incomplete, my Dun & Bradstreet is invalid, might not get paid for work that I'm doing now. They don't know that I haven't done any work yet, but
yep,
they're just hounding me all the time.
Yeah, it's sad. I call them the ambulance chasers, and they're out there. They get your information out of SAM. So every time there's a new registration in SAM, they get the information, and they call them and email them and tell them whatever you got to hear. You know, I got a client who guy sold her a G.S.A. For 10 grand, and she makes fresh breakfast and lunch every day. He got her on a G.S.A. schedule to sell frozen foods to the prison system. Just completely took advantage of her ignorance. You know, it's sad, but they're out there. Just check with me first, and you'll never worry. I don't care if they tell you they're me. I don't care if they tell you they work for me. I don't care if they tell you they're my girlfriend or my wife, because these guys have done it. That's why I tell people, when you make comments on my videos or you post anything online, don't include your contact information. Don't put your phone number, your email, because they will call you and tell you that they're me and sell you stuff.
John, is there anybody trying to work on keeping that from happening? I mean, other than you?
You know, our CEO invests a lot of time and energy and money into trying to get these guys shut down. And every time he shuts one down, 2 more of them pop up. So unfortunately, there's only so much we can do, you know. Anybody got a bid, solicitation, proposal to work on today, or a question?
Well, I was going to share. This is Shannon again, just so
Yes.
you know, just a quick share in reference to when you just the solicitation we were just talking about, and I said it's going to end tomorrow.
Yes.
I called them, client services, and they told me that I could request. They said it is due tomorrow by 11 o'clock, but they said what I can do is send them an email, and they could I could ask if they would be willing to extend the deadline. So just for you to know, so if somebody else has this issue, that's what I'm going to do. But just so you know, if somebody else has this kind of issue, they'll know that they have that option available to them.
Yep, that's always an option, even if it's not a FedBid or a FedConnect. If it's just a regular solicitation, worst case scenario, they're going to tell you no. But it's worth asking if it's something you can definitely do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's all. I'm done with that. Yeah.
Sounds good. Anybody else got a bid, solicitation, proposal?
Hey, John, it's Raj. I emailed you over some verbiage for the contingency plan. Okay. Ashley and I spoke at great length yesterday, late afternoon, about that. So I sent you some verbiage that I think you could kind of weave into the contingency plan that we're going to draft up.
Excellent.
Right. I'm done for today. I can't talk about mine online.
You got it.
Hey, I guess you get to go home a little early today, huh?
Maybe.
Like you always say, another day in paradise.
Another day in paradise, always.
Okay.
I'll take a look
All
at
right,
that.
listen, can we talk tomorrow morning time frame? Are you free?
Yep. We'll figure it out. I'll have Angela reach out to you and schedule a time.
Great. All right, I'm out.
Sounds good. Just so you guys know, Roger's into security, and we're working on some contracts that have some clearance requirements, so we can't really discuss them in the group session. Anybody else got a bid, solicitation, proposal you want to work on, or a question?
Hey, John, I actually had one.
Yes.
So for the SAP program,
yes.
Exactly how much like previous contracts and workflow do you need to have to register for that and have a good chance of earning a contract through that?
The SAP, it's funny, the SAP program is funny because you don't necessarily need past performance. Will it benefit you to have past performance? Yes, of course. But it's the old catch-22. You know, it's like when you were in high school and you wanted to get a job and your parents finally said, yes, you can get a job, or like my parents said, go get a job. I went to apply at my first job and I had no job experience. So my first job, it didn't want to hire me, you know. It took several applications before I found a company that would hire me without any experience. So this is no different. Are you going to win a lot of contracts immediately? No, because you don't have the experience to back it. But the thing about past performance, and you'll notice this when you're reading the instructions to offerer, and it tells you on a small business set aside, your technical proposal is the most important factor. So your solution to their problem is the most important factor. Past performance second, and price is last. You'll also read a lot of times on past performance where it'll say if you have the appropriate past performance, then you will get you'll be scored as a positive. If you have no past performance, you're scored as a neutral. And if you have bad past performance, you're scored as a negative. So not having past performance is better than having bad past performance, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So I could, without any past performance, win contracts with the SAP program.
Yeah, I mean, I teach people to broker. Look, I've got people that call me up and they saw the movie War Dogs, and they get all hell bent on wanting to become billionaires, and they'll call me up and say, "Hey, man, I saw that movie. I want to do that. Can I do that?" Yeah, I mean, technically you can, but they don't have a company. They're just, you know, straight out of high school or college or whatever. I'll put it to you this way: I have clients who have won contracts, and they have no business even being in business. I have clients that, you know, they're not the smartest cookies in the shed. They're not. You guys are business owners. You already run an existing business. You know what's involved. I have people that are winning government contracts that have no business winning them. So if people like that can win them, people like you guys that are intelligent business owners, successful business owners already, there's no reason why anyone can't sell to the government. The past performance thing, yes, on some contracts they'll tell you, but on some contracts they don't care. And if it's a small business set aside, it's always about the solution. It's never about the cost or the past performance. That's second and third. So if it boils down to them buying a widget, you know, if they're going to buy a brand name washer machine, then you're kind of going to lose out on that one because everybody's going to have access to the same washing machine. If your solution to their problem is janitorial services for the VA, and you have a better solution that is more earth friendly, it's greener, it's safer, but your cost is higher, that doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter if you don't have any past performance at all. It's your solution, your technical proposal is the most important factor. So when you find a situation where you have the right solution but no past performance, and your price is higher than everybody else, but no one else has that exact right solution, they're going to choose you every time.
Okay, so it sounds like brokering is harder to start up without much feedback with SAP. So is it really just about throwing as much stuff at the wall and trying to win as many contracts as you can to get the ball rolling?
Exactly. Brokering's harder to start in the beginning with no past performance because a lot of the stuff you're going to broker is actually a product, and all your competition is going to have access to the same product. So you don't have any advantage over your competition except for price, but past performance is more important than price. So my brokers, I teach them just throw as much at the wall as possible, and you'll win some. I mean, you're going to win them statistically if you submit enough bids because 3 reasons. A, go into FPDS. Really? Why would they do this in the middle of the day? This is something.
Good question.
Something you do on a Sunday from midnight till 5 in the morning. You don't do this on a Wednesday from. All right, that's insane. They're probably modifying it to move it into SAM. But my point was going to be, if you go into FPDS and you search awards, most of those awards only have 2 or 3 offers received. Some of them only have 1 offer received. So statistically speaking, if you submit enough bids, you're going to win them just because there's not enough competition. And if you look at the grand scheme of things, you guys have way more competition in the non-government arena. I mean, 100-fold more competition in the non-government arena because there's almost 30 million small businesses registered in the U.S., but only about 80,000 of those I can guarantee are active and compliant. So when it comes to competition in the government system, it's a drop in the bucket compared to how many people you compete against on a daily basis. And you're talking about selling to the largest purchasing entity in our existence. That no one else in our known universe buys as much as our federal government. And the best part about our federal government, when they run out of money, they print more. So it's not like when the housing market crashed in 2008, people stopped spending. Or if they're broke, they can't buy anymore. The government continues to buy. They run out of money, they print more. So you're talking about selling to the best entity in the world with the least amount of competition on a platform that's easier than any other platform. State and local government, city government, if you're selling to them right now, you're doing 10 times the work that you would be doing for a federal contract and competing against 15 to 20 other vendors compared to 2 or 3 in the federal system. So don't worry about the past performance. That's in a sense, it's like putting the cart before the horse. Just focus on submitting as many bids as possible, utilizing me as much as possible, and you're going to win one eventually. It's just a matter of time.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
You got it, man. Any other questions? Looks like we got a comment. Let's see what this says. Got a chat question maybe.
Oh, that was probably me. That was something I asked earlier.
Competition for asphalt in Utah and Lake County. Yeah, you can actually search that. It's a public database. It's called the DSBS. It's called the DSBS. It's a public database. So I can go there if it's working. It's a government database, but it's publicly accessible. So we go to DSBS. And we're going to search Utah. As my uncle used to call it, Utah. Then you search lookup right here. Utah lookup. Come on now. And you said Salt Lake County. So click on Salt Lake. And then scroll down to the keyword box and put in ASPHALT. Asphaltal? No. That's how you spell asphalt, right? Double check it. If Google tells me that's the way to spell it, that's the way to spell it.
That's the way you spell it.
All right. So put in the keyword asphalt. Scroll to the bottom and search using these criteria. And there's 3 companies in Utah County. There's South Mountain Builders. They specialize in general construction, design, build, concrete excavation, structural, steel, roofing, complete, mechanical, plumbing, electrical. Green Innotech USA, manufacture, sell special chemical additives. So they make asphalt, whereas these guys are general contractor. And they are doing a lot of government work. You should definitely get in front of these guys and see about working for them as a subcontractor because they're killing it. I can take their DUNS number and go to USA Spending. They've done $15 million in business with the government so far, minimum. There could be more. None of these databases track all the spending. So I would definitely reach out to these guys and offer to do work for them as a subcontractor.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. Now you've also got, these guys make asphalt. And these guys, asphalt maintenance, slurry seal, crack seal. Is this you?
That's what we do, but that's not us.
That's not you. Okay. Well, if you guys are not in here under asphalt, we need to get you in here.
Get us on there, John Wayne.
Send me an email so I don't forget, and we'll take care of it after the training.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yep. And anybody can search this database. You can also go in and refine it, and you can search and see who's woman-owned, who holds an 8A, who's minority or veteran, service-disabled veteran or woman-owned. Search by next.
We had a question about that. Well, we're minority. Would it help if it was a woman-owned more, or does it make any difference?
It depends. I get a lot of husband and wife teams, a lot of husband and wife owned businesses, and sometimes the husband's a veteran, wife is a woman. Sometimes. Yeah, okay. Here's the deal. You're better off veteran owned than woman owned. So if you have the choice, go with the veteran owned. And that's simply because of the lack of competition. Women, minorities, and veterans, just like 8As, give 5%, okay? But there's 70,000, I think I just redid this, there's over 70,000 women-owned small businesses sharing that 5% compared to only 40,000 veterans. There's almost half as many veterans sharing their 5% as there are women. So women are getting the short end of the deal right now. And minorities are up there. But service-disabled veterans, they get 3% just like HubZones, but there's only 16,000 service-disabled veterans. And the 8A, if you can get in the 8A program, eventually that's, there's only, they get the same 5%. We're talking 5% of the entire federal budget, 5% of trillions of dollars. And there's only 5,300 people sharing that. And HubZone's good too, because there's only 4,100 HubZones. Now you'll also notice when you go into FBO, you do a basic search, you're going to notice that most of these contracts are set aside for veterans and small businesses. That's an 8A, which is rare. Veteran, HubZone, 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 small business, small business, small business, small business, small business, small business. You're going to notice a lot of contracts are set aside for small business and for HubZone. Rarely do they do set asides for 8As because there's so few 8As and HubZones. A lot of time they do those as sole source. Right now they're doing this as a SOT.
What qualifies you as a small business?
Small business is based on your size standards per NAICS code. So NAICS codes have different size standards, which are each NAICS code has its own size standard. So for example, if you do septic tank and related services, 562,991, your size standard for that is 7 million. So if you did more than 7 million last year in revenues total, you don't qualify as a small business under that NAICS code. But you're still a small business under materials recovery because you only did 10 million in revenues. Or if you do environmental remediation, doesn't matter how much money you make, as long as you stay under 500 employees, you can do environmental remediation as a small business forever and make billions. I know of a company that has 499 full-time employees, and all they hire is part-timers now.
Okay.
All right. Each NAICS code's different. Some of them are way up there, 35 million. Most of them are around 5 to 7 million, 10, 15 million, as high as 30.
If I give you a NAICS code, can you check for me?
Sure.
238990.
$238,990. As long as you don't do more than 14 million in revenues, you're considered a small business in most instances. You also see that there's footnotes on this.
We don't make close to that, so.
Okay. Well, you're good.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Any other questions? Anybody else got a bid, solicitation, proposal to work on, or a question? Was one thing I wanted to show you guys, and I forgot. What was it? Oh, I did a training today from noon. I'm gonna start doing that from now on, doing a Wednesday training, and I'm gonna give a specific subject, so you'll know coming into it that we're gonna cover something specific. That way, if you've already learned that, you don't have to join. But if you want to join, you can. And it'll be just like this training. It'll be 1 hour, and you can have a Q&A. The one I did today was on how to get subcontracts with primes, how to market yourself to a federal purchasing agent, and how to register for state, local, and city government contracts, and how to register with state, local, and city disaster recovery divisions, which I suggest you guys all do. If you guys want to see that video, if you're subscribed to me on YouTube, you're going to get it automatically. If not, you need to go to YouTube.
Hey, John, I do have a question.
Yes.
Could you, sir, requalify the small business under $14 million in revenue and earnings for me?
Can I do what?
Can you explain one more time the small business under $14 million in revenue and earnings that you just qualified?
Yeah, if you made less than 14 million in revenues last year total, you're a small business under that NAICS code.
Okay.
Each NAICS code has its own size standard. I got a size standards chart here.
Is that considered disadvantaged?
No. Disadvantaged is a state term. Disadvantaged, each state has different requirements for what they consider a disadvantaged business, and that registration is through the Department of Transportation, through each state, through the DOT. You can sign up for the
What about at the federal level?
There is no disadvantage at the federal level. The government recognizes it, but there's no set aside for it.
Okay.
The disadvantage is going to give you more subcontract work to primes, and it's going to give you a benefit for the state or the local or the city government to hire you. But there's no benefit for the federal government to hire you with a disadvantage certification.
Gotcha.
That I know of. I could be wrong on that one. I don't know. I've never heard of a situation where they were hired because they had their DBE.
Okay.
So the DBE,
great.
the MBE, the WB, DBE, all those are through the Department of Transportation.
Okay. You don't happen to know what the Texas one is, by any chance?
No, but I can search it.
Okay.
I go to my secret database, Google. Okay, so here's a company that will probably, you can pay them to do it. Right there, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, Texas DOT, Department of Transportation.gov.
Okay, thank you.
I can tell you this, the DBE and the MBE, I've got clients that hold them and they get a ton of subcontract work just because they hold those certifications. You guys ever heard of what's called a pass-through?
Vaguely, yeah.
All right. A pass-through in some states and in some aspects is illegal. Not so much for you because they can't really prove that you're at fault, but more towards the prime that hired you. A pass-through is when they have to hire so many people, so many small businesses that hold the MBE and the DBE and the 8A and the HubZone vet-biz. Any prime contractor gets a contract over $650,000 has to hire 23% small businesses to do sub work, and of course they're going to want to hire people that hold the DBE and the MBE and the 8A and the HubZone. So that's less additional contractors they have to hire to meet that criteria. A pass-through is when they hire you and they pay you just because you hold those certifications, but they don't actually have you come out and do the work. They're just paying you to show that they paid you for the certs that you hold to meet their criteria. And like I said, it's frowned upon because you should be doing the work. But, I mean, how is the government going to prove it's your fault? You could just say, hey, they hired me, but they never gave me the key to the building. I mean, how am I supposed to do the work if they don't give me the key? You know, or they never allowed me to show up to the job site. They never told me where the job was. It's not your fault, right? Pass-throughs are really hard to prove, you know, but the bright side of it is this. They exist, and these guys want to hire you just because you hold these certifications. So get them. Get the certifications and get the work. Any other questions?
All right, awesome. Thank you very much.
You got it.
John Cabrera. On subcontracting, does it matter who you hire? Like, for example, we do design build work. So can I go out and, if I subcontract for somebody, can I go and hire, you know, engineers and contractors that are not registered through the federal government? In other words, I hold the subcontract, but then some of the people that I'm going to get aren't involved with the federal registration. So can I do that?
Depends. Is this contract you're speaking of a set aside?
I'm just speaking in general. I'm speaking in general. I know every case is different, and you know, as a project manager, every contract has its own requirements. But in general, you know, because I have very good engineers and architects and contractors that I depend on to get things done. But if my company is awarded a subcontract or even a contract, then do I have to get just contractors that are in the federal system?
I'm going to give you a short answer on that, and then I'm going to make a suggestion. Anybody that wants to know more about subcontracts, that meeting, the training I did today covers subcontracting from A to Z. Man, I say best video on subcontracts because this is probably one of the best videos I've done in my career. We nailed every head. They asked every question about subcontracting. It was phenomenal. So if you guys haven't seen this, go ahead and search John Wayne subcontracts. And I've got several subcontract videos out there. Click on the one that says best video on subcontracts and watch it. You'll learn a ton. The short answer is this. If you're awarded a small business contract, you're technically going to need to sub it out to small businesses that are registered. If it's over $650,000, you're going to have to hire at least 23% subcontractors. And you're going to have to prove that you've hired them by posting their what you paid them in the ESRS. And the only way to do that is for them to have a cage code. So they're going to have to be federally registered small businesses. If you are a veteran-owned business and you win a veteran-owned contract and you're going to sub that out, you have to sub that out to veteran-owned small businesses. Woman-owned, same thing. You have to sub it out to woman-owned small businesses. So as long as you're, and that's not 100% of the time, like you said, this isn't, nothing the government does has a 100% rule on anything. But for the most part.
Yeah, because it would be nice to stick with 77% of firms that I know that have proven results. I mean, because, you know, the 23%, I'll go find that somewhere. I'll collect 23% of a group of people who are registered. But the 77%, the bread and butter, the people that are dependable, that have done, you know, big contracts on time and within budget, there's nothing that beats that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Best thing you do is just come to me with each opportunity, and I'll do the research and tell you what the requirements are for that opportunity.
Thanks.
Yep. But you guys definitely, if you're not subscribed to me on YouTube, I don't know why you wouldn't be, because I post videos every day. Search John Wayne Subcontracts and watch the one that says best video on. It's a good one. Any other questions? Anybody else got a bid, solicitation, proposal? Anybody want to lay in a hammock, watch the sunset? You guys still hear me? Did I lose you?
Yeah, we hear you. It's
Yeah, as long as she's blonde and got beer, I'm laying in the hammock.
That's good times. Well, if there's no other questions, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. We'll be back on here tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. You know the drill. If you got a proposal you want to work on, send me the link. If you want to join, try and let me know ahead of time so we don't run late. And we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
So, John, all thing I need to do is just send you over email to discuss some information further about the program?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm the most accessible man in government contracting. I try and answer my phone. You know, I'm busy. I get a lot of phone calls. So if you guys need to reach me and you need a quick answer, drop me an email. I'm always checking my emails. You guys see me checking my emails even when I'm in the training, you know. So if you need me,
I got you.
drop me an email. If not, if you leave me a voicemail, it may be a while before I get back to you because my phone rings almost constant sometimes.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Appreciate it.
You got it, man. You can thank me after you win your first contract.
All right.
All right. We'll talk to you then.
All right. Bye.
Bradley, but they call me Country.
You call me Country. If you just watched this video and you're not a client and you want to learn more, give me a call or drop me an email. If you need help with anything, government contracts, subcontracts, SAM, G.S.A, 8A, HubZone, Wide Area Workflow, DAPA, the woman-owned w.o.s.b, the veteran-owned v.o.s.b, the service-disabled veteran, disadvantaged registrations, MBE, DBE, SP, DWSB, CCR, ORCA, IRAP, G.S.A, G.S.A Advantage, OASIS, FSS, or federal, state, city, county, local government, commercial, industrial, residential contracts, whatever, call or email me. I'm John Wayne. I'd love to add you to this list of comments about how awesome I am. And it's a big list. So you guys get with me and let's help you win some contracts so I can get your comment on here. Make sure to like and subscribe and blah, 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 blah. Have a good one, guys. Bye.